Taking my daily constitutional, and we're walking up Sequoia, and this is one of my daily walk routines, and I've been wondering if I'm going to be able to do it in the snow, and it looks like I'm doing just fine. Well, howdy there, pipe pals and gals. Guten Abend, mein Damen und mein Herren. So how's it all going, folks? This is going to be my kind of my first video of the new year. And I do believe that I made a New Year's Eve video as well as a Christmas video just a few weeks ago, and then a couple days ago. Haven't had a chance to really look at that New Year's Eve video, but we'll try and do that a little bit later when I'm uploading this one. Anyway, Happy New Year to everyone. Hope everyone is hopefully starting off 2022 on a positive, great beginning, new beginning. Okay, so I'm smoking this Ben Wade. I believe I introduced this pipe last video as a thought, as a reference, because I was talking about some pipes. Maybe they look really great, and this little chimney pipe is one of the pipes I've gotten probably 30, 40 years ago. I think I was in college when I got this. And anyway, long story short, this was a really cool pipe. I really enjoyed it. I love the character of this pipe. Let me maybe put it up there a little bit so people can kind of get a good look at it. It is a Ben Wade. I call it my chimney pipe for obvious reasons. But I don't think I've ever done a pipe video with this pipe in there. Now I am smoking some, very appropriately, still in the Christmas season, doing some Christmas cookie. And so anyway, I thought, you know what? Maybe I actually did do a video many years ago when I began this pipe channel here. Maybe. But I don't know. I'm just not sure, if I really actually did a video with this pipe. So, not sure if I did. So, don't know if I did or not. So there you go. So anyway, I thought I would try and do a video with this pipe. But one of the reasons why I don't like smoking it is because it gets awfully hot, because the walls are just so thin. But anyway, I did load up some Christmas cookie, as I said a minute ago. And I seem to have gotten a pretty good packing there, just right. Reminds me of one of Gary, the Gentleman Scholar's videos. Yes, Gary, I got your Christmas card. The alternative Christmas cards from Gary. Yes, the Gap. You know what? I guess it's getting to a point now for me that it probably wouldn't be Christmas without Charlie Brown, It's a Wonderful Life, and Gary Christmas cards. It's kind of a tradition, folks. Thanks, Gary. Not bad. So anyway, I thought I'd get on here, and today is kind of my day off. I always love it when parishioners call and they say, it's inevitable. They'll say this: I know it's your day off, but. Also at my elbow, some coffee. And if you are opposed to Starbucks, just know that was a gift many years ago, and I just look at it as a coffee cup. It's not an endorsement to buy Starbucks products. Okay. You know what? Have I ever? Oh, I was talking a couple of videos ago. Of course, I don't have the viewer base to do merch. But one person goes, yeah, you should do a Holy Smoking Pipe Padre merch, I mean, like coffee cups and T-shirts and, light up your world, light up your pipe. I mean, I think I do have a pretty good, little YouTube tag. I mean, some people, there's a whole bunch of them out there. One of my, one guy is, I'm the everyday dad. He's a tech guy. And he goes, if I can figure it out, you can figure it out. I think that's one of his. Let's see. The one guy I've been watching a lot, Gary, doesn't, I don't know if Gary likes him or not. He's called the Critical Drinker. He's from Scotland. Supposedly he's from Scotland. But he says, that's all I have today. Go away now. You know, so, you know, that's kind of a memorable tagline, you know, to end his videos. There's a lot of people that have little interesting taglines. But I can't remember all of them right now. But anyway, those are the two of the ones that I remember that I seem to have the most recall with. So anyway, so today is my day off. And, you know, I've been playing around, as you know, with a lot of my new technology stuff and playing around with Adobe Premiere, and then I found really cool, I hope you guys like the little intro, my secondary intro, wishing you all a Happy New Year, kind of a day in the life of, a little montage there. And at the end, although I have to be honest, I did not do a very good job of editing that, but I found this new 3D tracker, and I've always been intrigued with people that put these elements that are clearly not in real life, but they look like they were, you know, done in real life, you know, and they're a lot of fun to do, and they get a lot of attention in the beginning, I guess. You know, people will go, wait a minute, that's your real church. How did you get those letters up on top of the roof like that? You know, and if I had done it correctly, it would have looked a lot more convincing. But I was playing around with it, and I had probably invested a total of 1 hour, you know, learning the new plugin. I love plugins, especially when they work. But they're just some of them are so intricate. And even though the basics you can kind of learn in a couple of minutes if you have a good tutorial, the finer details, you know, those are things that are kind of left for the professionals, I guess. But anyway, so when I saw this plugin, and even though it wasn't cheap, I said, boy, I'd love to have that, because I've always wanted to have that kind of video editing power. The raw power of video editing is now in my hands. I can rule the galaxy. Okay, sorry. Anyway, I just wanted to wish you all a very happy New Year's, kind of maybe take an opportunity to maybe do a little video right now, and probably won't be back until next month unless something, you know, earth-shaking happens. Ooh, better be careful I say that. Don't want to say that too loud. Clearly, if you watch the video, you see that we last week during Christmas, this area where I live got dumped on severely, and we're still digging out. Now today, they were predicting another great storm with lots of snow, and, you know, touch wood, Bob's your uncle kind of thing. It didn't quite materialize. Now, maybe at the higher elevations on Mount Rose, it was good. Probably there was a little bit more snow up there, but right now, where I'm living, you know, down at 6,000 feet, didn't get a whole lot. Just a couple of snow flurries. Mixed with snow and rain. I went for a walk, you know, really nice this afternoon. It was just like really refreshing, 36 degrees. It was just really, you know, kind of a warm day out here. So I really, you know, kind of thought I'll take advantage of that and I'll go for a walk, and I did. So anyway, yeah, right now the weather seems to be behaving itself. You know, it was like, oh boy. It just loaded up so fast. Last week during Christmas, it really caused a lot of concern. In fact, a lot of people pretty much just kind of resigned themselves to the fact that they weren't going to get unburied for a couple of days, you know. So, I mean, it happens. But the other thing that a lot of people, and myself included, are not quite adapting to maybe are the very frequent and extended power outages. You know, now some of you people that live in the Midwest, upper Midwest, probably go, well, that's just part and parcel of it. Or maybe it's not. I don't know. But yesterday evening, we had howling winds. I mean, it was just incredible. I was sharing with a friend saying it reminds me of that scene in It's a Wonderful Life when George Bailey jumps in to save Clarence the Angel, and they're in that little gatekeeper's, facility on the river or the lake or wherever they're at, and it's howling and snowing and storming and it's really quite dramatic, atmospheric wise. Well, last night it got like that. It got pretty serious, and that's when I think we have the real problems, is when we get really big buildup of snow and wind. It just snaps trees and power lines, and you just got to have candles at the ready. And sometimes if I'm really thinking, I go, man, you know what? I need to be proactive. So I may brew up a coffee, while the power's still on, because I don't know if it's going to be on in the morning. And I got to have my coffee. So even if it's cold, I still got coffee. So I've done that a couple of times when I know the weather is really, really, really getting pretty gnarly out there. So I kind of go, well, better be proactive. Better safe than sorry, And actually, I think one morning it did happen where I didn't have any power, but I had brewed a cup of coffee the night before, and I said, well, I'll just put some cream in it, and that will settle it down a little bit. And even though it's a little bit on the cold side, it's still going to prevent me from having my caffeine headache. Okay, so far, maybe I was a little too harsh on judging this pipe. The walls aren't getting super hot like they normally do. Now, granted, I'm not really, seriously puffing on this pipe, smoking it, smoking it down to the nubbins, but I tend to be more of a sipper now these days. Boy, that's good. In the coffee, it's a hazelnut cinnamon nut cream thing, which is a nice complement to this. Really nice. So, I was thinking the other day about making another video. Obviously, I'm making the video now. Why? I don't know. But a couple of things that I wanted to talk about, kind of looking at the new year ahead. And the last 3 months after I got COVID, and I think I might have said this maybe to some extent in one of my videos. I don't know if it was this one or my homily channel. But there were some dividends to getting COVID. And I know that's probably not a viewpoint you're going to hear a lot of people talking about, because mostly COVID is, very serious, obviously, and it's very frightening for a lot of people. But I have to say that after my experience with it, and again, I still have some lingering residuals of COVID. Again, the smell and the taste and some little phantom pains zinging around my body. And it could just be old age. It could be lots of other things. Could be pipe smoking. Who knows, You got to be afraid of something out there, right? Yeah. I choose not to. I am concerned. I'm concerned, for example, of the weather, because this is my third year up here, but this is the first, I think, severe winter that we've actually had that I've been here. And, when the snow loads up on these old roofs and this old house, and the church is over 100 years old, I get concerned. I get concerned about power outages. I get concerned about all sorts of things that I have to be concerned about. And my mom was a champion worrier. God bless and God rest my dear mom, who I love very, very much. She was a champion worrier, and I have to say that I've been probably, I was raised to worry about all sorts of things, and that kind of ties into where I'm going to go here in just a moment. But anyways, you think about the new year, you think about making changes in your life, positive changes, whether it's exercise, it's finances, it's your health, it's your relationships, it's your job, it's all of that, right? And, a lot of people, kind of use this as a time to kind of maybe get a tabula rasa, a clean slate, which is all good. Kind of, looking at your life and kind of, saying, well, what works in my life? What doesn't work? What's good? What's bad? What can I change? That's not bad. See if I can do a little starship thing there. But so, and I watch a lot of YouTube, and I'm actually questioning why. Why is it that I'm an old movie buff. My brother was, my mom was, I always remember how quaint it was that they would, and this is back in the days of black and white little TVs, and they'd get up really close to the TV and they'd read all those names of those character actors, and I always thought that was kind of funny. They go, who is it? Just a character actor that I could name that some people might. Now I'm kind of drawing a blank myself here. Oh, those old character actors. Gosh, I used to. I mean, I watch them. Well, not as much as I probably used to. Okay. A great character actor, Henry Travers. And those of you who know who Henry Travers is, put it in the comment below. I'm not going to tell you, but who's Henry Travers? Okay, Henry Travers. But anyway, my mom and my brother, they love these old movies, and I inherited that same love and appreciation. But at the end of the credits, they get up there and they read all these names, and I'm thinking, well, who cares? Who cares? But they did care, because those were beloved characters. So, but anyway. So what I guess I'm trying to say is that, I enjoy my old movies and Ward Bond, who's Ward Bond, Beulah Bonte, some of these, I think all three of those names actually came from one movie. Can you figure out which movie it was? Okay. I've already given you a hint. Already given you a pretty big hint already, okay, in the beginning of the video. Okay. So, that being said, I like watching these old movies, but sometimes I've noticed that I've kind of, I'll still watch a video, I'll still watch a movie, but I'm more kind of a YouTube junkie, and we're going to talk about that. Now, you talk about making changes, and getting back to my dividends of COVID. For the last 3 months, I pretty much gave up on a real consistent basis carbs, sugars, breads, pasta, candy, pies, cookies, completely eliminated from my diet. Now, I will say honestly that during Christmas, somebody gave me a little box of chocolates and a Pantone Italian bread. And out of kind of respect for those people, I half-heartedly ate those things. And the good thing was I didn't find myself going back and buying more goodies. Normally it's kind of like alcoholism. One bite might be too much for you, and so you'll go back out the next day and you're looking for more sugar and you're looking for more processed carbs and bread and all that. And so I'm happy to say that I was able to enjoy those things in and by themselves without it completely triggering a complete, carbohydrate meltdown, which is kind of the first time in my life that that's happened. Yesterday, I got on my pull-up bar, and instead of struggling like I have for the last 3 months, it was like, hey, I was able to knock out 4 or 5 genuine pull-ups, where pull-ups are the hardest thing for me to do. I can do chin-ups a lot easier, but like yesterday, I got on the pull-up bar and I just went like boom, 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 like 4 or 5, just like that. It's like, whoa. Now I've been doing the Dr. Sean Baker. I think he's been suspended from YouTube again because they haven't seen any of his videos in the last 10 days. So God bless you, Dr. Sean, if you're out there. But I've been doing the 100 push-ups. This is the second time I've done that, and it'll be almost 100 days, 100 push-ups, 100 days. I do modified right now. I'm hoping this year to get back to full floor press-ups or push-ups. I've been doing a lot of modified, but that seems to have helped. And I've been doing the chin-ups and the pull-ups every day, a little bit every day. So a little bit every day seems to have really been really beneficial. So I'm really excited this year about getting off to a really good start to the new year. Now, talking about YouTubers, and again, I'm not here to criticize anybody. Everybody, they are who they are, and it's just that sometimes I wonder, and God bless them, they're putting their hearts out there. But there's a guy out there who did a tremendous job a few years ago, like me, where he lost over 100 pounds, and he looked phenomenal after he got done. I mean, I think he was probably enjoying some really good health. I hope he was. But unfortunately, like me, he packed it on again. It kind of came back with a vengeance. And I think I know why it does. Now, for me, it didn't come back with a vengeance. I kept it off for about 3 to 4 years. But then it started creeping up, and then when I got up here and I stopped completely walking and working out, obviously it came back. Now, I didn't gain all 270 plus pounds back, but I got up to about 240. That was kind of my Maginot line, I guess, my Siegfried line. But I kind of stayed at 240 for the last 2 years, and now it's kind of gone down to about 220. Now I have to look and see where I'm at today. But this gentleman who I watch a lot, and I think I have a lot of respect for his accomplishments. However, I've noticed that he kind of has modified his new regime to lose weight to where I just don't, I think deep down inside, and I don't want to come across as being too critical, but I think that I don't know if he's sincerely trying to lose the weight, or if he's just trying to, and again, if you want to do a YouTube channel and you want to talk about pipes, you want to talk about weight loss, you want to talk about politics, you want to talk about global warming, you want to talk about Charlie Brown, there we go, Charlie Brown, whatever you want to talk about, it's a free country, knock yourself out, So I kind of wondering why, I kind of look at sometimes and I say, well, you had a method that worked. And he said, well, I'm not going to do that method this time. I'm going to try something different. And that's fine. That's perfectly A-okay. Okay. If you wanted to try something different and see if that works for you, hey, that's a free country, go for it. But at the same time, I'm kind of thinking, you're not really doing it this time. Before, you'd see this great dramatic change and you'd see success, you'd see goals achieved. And now it's just, I don't know. I think the guy's having fun just making YouTube videos, and that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. But when I look at myself and I go, okay, am I deceiving myself? Am I just going through the motions, or am I really accomplishing something? That's the question that I have, So again, the other day, I was just kind of thinking, why? I don't know, okay? Not sure. But I was thinking about YouTube, and again, I watch, I think, a wide variety of different things, whether it's religious channels, the people that I watch on an ongoing basis that I think have really good things to say that are helpful to me in my spiritual life. Politics, and sometimes those kind of, they kind of come together, and just different people that I watch. But anyway, I think it was just yesterday and today, as I was really kind of thinking about what is it about watching YouTube as opposed to watching, say, a traditional movie. And I think I kind of have stumbled upon why YouTube is so appealing. Because you would think, well, what's appealing about YouTube? I mean, obviously, there aren't that many. I mean, there are some people that do excellent, obviously, they're professional people, you know, or they've learned that craft of making these, you know, awesome, you know, professional videos, whether they're the tech guys or people that have specialized channel. There's a young guy from, I don't know if he's actually making his videos from Ireland, but he's an Irish kid. His name is Mike. And that chapter, I think that's his YouTube thing. It's called, you know, interesting young guy. Does all these crime dramas, crime things, you know, not murder mysteries, but just, you know, people who've been, sad to say, murdered, you know, and killed, and he talks a lot about these cases, and he does a really good job. He's got a kind of a dry sense of humor, a little bit. I wouldn't say he's irreverent. He's not irreverent or disrespectful, but he does he just has a kind of a playful way of talking about these serious things, and it's very interesting and very entertaining all at the same time. So some of those things are quite interesting and intriguing to me as well. So I started thinking about it just, you know, a little while ago, and it kind of dawned on me, you know, it's like, you know, why? Why do you watch these videos? You know, don't know. Well, actually, I do know. And I have okay, this is my theory, you know, take it or toss it. But YouTube, for the most part, is all about current events. You know, it's all about talking about the here and now. You know, if you watch a movie, and maybe you've watched the movie 100 times before, you know, good movies are like that. You can watch them over and over again. You know, Full Metal Jacket, you know, It's a Wonderful Life, you know, Citizen Kane, you know, Kane Mutiny, you know, I mean, just you're throwing out videos left and right, you know. Those movies are just wonderful movies to watch, you know, Hunt for Red October, you know, Highlander, you know, okay, it's fun movies, right? But those are mostly just, they're entertaining movies. That's all that, and again, there's a sense of their entertainment, okay? Their escapism, their fantasy. To one form or another, even if they're a docudrama, you know, you're watching something that's kind of like, okay, I'm going to stop thinking about my life and my problems or whatever it is. I'm going to just kind of relax a little bit and watch this movie. But YouTube is all about here and now. And in some regards, it's kind of almost even a little bit more than just here and now. It's almost like, it's kind of like looking into a crystal ball to some extent, I think. You know, it's like, you know, what, you know, people are wondering, what is 2022 going to be like, you know? Maybe they're looking at it from the COVID thing, you know, what's coming down the pike next? I know a lot of the religious YouTubers I watch, you know, it's always kind of like, you know, doomsday stuff, like, well, what bad things are going to happen to the church now? You know, all these bad things are coming down the pike, you know. What's going to happen with our politics, you know, what's happening with our economy, what's happening with our world, you know. And so in some ways, it's YouTube kind of sets itself up to be kind of like a window on the horizon, like, well, you know, like, well, what's the weather going to be like today or tomorrow or next week? Yeah, you can tune into the Weather Channel. I guess they even have a YouTube equivalent on that. But, you know, a lot of the independent people are out there kind of broadcasting the weather, you know. And I think that the appeal of YouTube is, you know, it's sort of like it's all rooted in today. It's current events, and it's also a glimpse into the future, you know. And I think that's the hook, you know. I know for me it is. It's sort of like, well, gosh, I wonder what's going on in the world now, and what do I need to be worried about tomorrow, you know, because, you know, the world's going to come to an end, and I want to be ready for it, kind of thing. And now, again, there are lots of wonderful things. I think there are a lot of well, kind of bad things on YouTube, a lot too clearly. But there's a lot of good things on there too, like cat videos for one thing. You know, cat videos are wonderful. And every now and then you can see some things that are kind of just, well, there's I guess some of them were kind of interesting. There's some are like kind of what you maybe call travel-oriented kind of videos, you know, like these people get the drones and they fly over, you know, picturesque countries like Scotland or Italy or France or whatever, you know, the Rockies or, you know, whatever, you know. There are some of these videos that are these, I don't know what you call them exactly. Their build is like satisfying videos where you just watch these machines or people doing these little interesting, you know, production things, and they'll do, you know, all sorts of interesting things, and you kind of you get mesmerized by it. I call them mesmerizing videos. And sometimes you have the ones that are playing the nature sounds, you know, thunderstorms and all sorts of things, you know, that are supposedly relaxing, or tutorials that I watch a lot of. And sometimes even pipe videos. Light up your world. Light up your pipe. Hear a little crackling in there, a little fireplace in there. I like that. Yeah. So anyway, but so I started thinking about, well, what is the appeal of YouTube for me? And I really think it's almost kind of like electronic astrology. You know, what's the future going to bring? Okay, I'm getting text by somebody. I don't know if you can see that little text bubble or not, but somebody's texting me. And I think that in a lot of ways, when I sit down, I'm looking for information. Not so much looking to be entertained, but I'm looking for information. For example, you know, like what are the new Apple products on the horizon? Now, this year, I am going to make it my I wouldn't say my mission in life, but I'm just going to have to say no to Tim Cook, you know. Now, unless they come up with some Apple product that's just absolutely head and shoulders above the newest M1 chipsets that came out last year and even the end of this past year, you know, I just don't see me buying any more Apple products for a while. There's just no need for it. The products that I got now, they do everything that I want them to do. Now, could I buy a $5,000 Mac Pro and it could maybe render one of my Holy Smoking Pipe Padre videos in 30 seconds maybe instead of 8 minutes? Probably. But unfortunately, and again, I think I have brand loyalty to some extent. I'm not a complete noob where I just kind of take everything that they say as the gospel and it's all the greatest, because clearly it's a company and they make products to sell to people, and people buy the products and they maybe, but again, their whole idea is to sell products to make money, not to really. I mean, yeah, their products have some real appeal to them, and they do some really fun things, amazing things even. But at the same time, if they feel that they can destroy, they can discontinue a product that you love and you use a lot, and they feel like, well, this product isn't really selling as well, and we got another product in the pipeline that'll even be better. That's the thing that I feel kind of sad about, is that I may have brand loyalty, but do they have customer loyalty? So, and that goes with Microsoft too. Don't tell anybody, but I have a dual machine that does Microsoft Windows and it also does Mac. So I'm not a Microsoft snob. In fact, I cut my teeth, or my early computing days, on Microsoft and even building, computers myself. So, that was an avocation I had. But anyway, long story short, but I think the thing about YouTube, as I think about it, I think the appeal for me to about watching YouTube as opposed to traditional legacy stations, because I don't think I've watched, except if it's on YouTube, traditional like ABC, CBS, NBC. I don't think I don't think I've watched those in years. I think the last time I probably watched actual news networks probably was back in maybe 2001, 2003, perhaps. I think we had some kind of a cable, the last place I was at that had cable, and after that, I think for a while there, I just watched videos, for a while. And that was probably up until about 2007, 2008 when I started getting into YouTube. And then I started publishing my homilies to YouTube, my little sermons and things. And then I kind of, at first I wasn't really attracted to YouTube at all except for tutorials. I did watch, I was really happy to learn that, if I wanted to learn something, I could probably find a tutorial on something. And that kind of was the hook that got me into watching a lot of YouTube in the beginning, And then I found people that were kind of entertaining. Some people were doing kind of the entertainment and the information. You could kind of watch there was a guy named Apple Shake Guru or eMeek77. Anybody remember eMeek77? I think that channel's gone. But anyway, he was the guy had, on one hand, he was a great teacher. He did great tutorials on Final Cut Pro, Motion, Shake, Blender. I think he was doing Blender videos. Anyway, long story short, then he got really into, he kind of became, he took the Apple, kind of like took a banner of being an Apple evangelist, an advocate for Apple. And then he morphed into the tutorials, which were just excellent. The guy had a real talent to teach. But then he got into this dark side. Some of you probably think I got into the dark side too. I can hear some, well, that's what happened to you. You used to be a lovable pipe guy, and now you turned into this hateful, political guy, that smokes a pipe. Well, maybe some people feel that way. I hope you don't, but hey, it's a free country, Anyway, but this guy, and the thing was, he just started, it was kind of the first time I was kind of exposed to just raw, except for you being in the military. I don't claim to be, innocent and pure as ivory snow here, ivory soap, but he just started this ranting of cussing and yelling and getting angry at people who, accused Apple of all these improprieties or, all this stuff. It became a religion for him. It really did. And it was the first time that I got, again, on YouTube, I was surprised that they let people just cuss left and right. And it was like, oh my gosh, wow. Kind of wild, wild west on YouTube. And at first, I didn't, he was like one of the people that I noticed that did that, but I didn't know that there was, pretty much everybody does that. F this and F that and just, I'm like going, wow, Again, I was watching movies that, R-rated, you'd get maybe some blue words in that, but it was, and again, I don't endorse that by any means, but at the same time, I guess, and I have to say that it just seemed like this seems to be where society's at. That cussing is just part of, yes, it's language, free speech, and all that good stuff, but it kind of boggles the mind for me. I don't understand where people are, where they go with that. Why do they need to do that? I watched an interesting movie last night. Actually, when the power came back on at 10 o'clock, and it was my Friday, so I thought, well, I could probably afford to watch this. It's a very interesting movie called Mass. And at first I thought, okay, and I watched the clips, and it looked like it was taking place in kind of like a Catholic rectory where you could tell it was a conflict movie about conflict, heavy duty conflict. and you're like, okay, what is this about? Because they don't tell you what it's about in the very beginning. And if you're somebody who can really appreciate how some people can really craft a very, very well done movie that really hits you where you're, wow, it's really that powerful. This movie does it. Now it's not a pleasant movie at all. It's not a fun movie to watch. Now, I thought it was interesting because there was only one curse word used in the whole movie. There was a whole lot of drama. Boy, you could cut the emotions and the tension with a knife with this movie. It was incredible. The acting, oh my gosh. It was just phenomenal. But it's one of these movies that you need to really be kind of prepared to go into, because in the beginning it's just so awkward and it just sets you on edge. And they do that intentionally, and I won't give it away because if you see it, which is called Mass. Now, I thought because it was called Mass, I thought, okay, this is about a Catholic thing, and it's going to be another hit on the Catholic Church kind of thing. So, but it wasn't. So it's a different topic. But anyway, it's an interesting movie if you get a chance to see it. Now, what I was again intrigued by was the great drama. The acting was just, I mean, I haven't seen acting like that in years. But I'm just telling you that the thing that I also was amazed at as a side was there was no cussing in this movie except for one. And there was a reason why that word was used. I won't tell you what it is. It wasn't, I'll just say this, it wasn't an F-bomb. It was just it was a curse word, but it was appropriate to what was being said by the character. It was like, okay, I can see that. Not that, anyway. But, so all I'm just trying to say is that sometimes when I stop and I think about it, the difference between YouTube and legacy media is that I think the appeal for most of us, now again, I could be wrong. Maybe you watch YouTube for different reasons. I don't know what your reasons are, but I do know that in the back of my mind is I'm trying to get current information and even possible information that might actually help me, days down the road. I don't know why I think that way, and I don't know if it's just the nature of YouTube itself or if it's, people have kind of got themselves addicted to YouTube. I might be addicted, But anyway, so as I think about 2022, the beginning of a new year, I start off with relative confidence, not in the old overarching problems, because there's a lot of problems in our world today. I'm not trying to be Pollyannish and try to bury my head in the sand and pretend it doesn't all exist. It does. But there comes a point where you get so saturated with all the problems that I think it kind of poisons you if you let it. You don't have to let it. And again, I think maybe a lot of it is kind of based a little bit on anxiety and worry and fear, because that kind of sells. The old saying, if it bleeds, it leads kind of thing. That's why we call the news, we used to call the news traditionally calamity follies. Because I hate to say it, but human nature, I love watching kitty cat videos and puppy videos, and they're fun and all that. And people doing goofy, stupid things, sometimes you kind of go, boy, what were they thinking, I was watching one video yesterday that just literally, no pun intended, put a chill on my spine because the guy, talking about people doing stupid things. This guy, we have these icicles out here, and a lot of them, they form, they're from the top of the roof all the way to, they're anchored now to the ground. They're a solid wall of ice. Anyway, this guy was climbing, I guess, one of these big, huge ice overflows. And he even said, I knew it was dangerous doing it. And so again, okay, at least he wasn't stupid. Well, that all depends, because if you knew it was dangerous and you still did it, doesn't that mean you're stupid? I don't know. But anyway, he was climbing this icicle, this massive, massive icicle, and it was like 100 feet up in the air. And anyway, he got to the very top, and he put the crampon in, bing, and it just, that was all it took. And that this huge icicle, hundreds of thousands of tons, just goes, and the guy lived to tell the story. Yeah, he said, all I got was the wind knocked out of me, and that was it. He goes, I realized that that could have been my last day. So, again, you know, sometimes, anyway, but so some of those videos are kind of, like I said, they're kind of sobering, needless to say. And you go, I don't want to do that. I'm not doing that, you know. I'm not going to do that. That's stupid, okay? Now, again, he enjoys doing that kind of thing, and there are people out there that do the parkour, and they do the wingsuit thing, and, you know, man, they got more intestinal fortitude than I do, or testosterone, or whatever, but man, okay, you know, and obviously they like living life on the edge, quite literally, and but some of these, I guess, those wingsuit guys, they don't live beyond 30 years old, I guess, because when you fly into the side of a mountain, the mountain's a little unforgiving. It's not going to cushion you the way you might think it might. You just got boom, you know, kind of like a dead cat bounce, and that's quite literally what's going to happen is a dead cat bounce, and you're going to be the dead cat, you know. Anyway, but anyway, I just wanted to get on here and wish everybody a very happy, healthy, and prosperous 2022. Oh man, 2022. Wow, it's hard to believe. Okay, so again, great, lots and lossies. So I'll get my famous my Dunhill lighter and get my Ben Wade here and say, as we inaugurate the new year, light up your world and light up your pipe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one real soon. Take care.